Hello, everyone. Welcome to Joe Consumes Cinema. I'm your host, The Exporter, and today we have Severance Season 2, Episode 7. So a ton is going on. I think Fields is the Exporter. Again, the gray hair, older white man did not get a great look at his face, but the low kind of raspy-ish voice with that dinner scene between Irving, Burt, and him just makes me think it really is him. He also got caught in a lie 20 years instead of 10 years, even though the first Severance employee was only 12 years back, according to public record. That could be a lie, by the way. It's very possible that they have been doing this longer than that. Maybe that's just when it became legal to do it. And yeah, I've given this a little bit of thought, and I think there might actually be a way for this whole show to have a happy ending. Now, I commented last reaction that, the whole relationship between Heliar and Mark S., very nice, very sweet, like genuine, healthy, I would say even, is ultimately destined for failure because right now the main motivation for Mark on the outside is to get back with his wife. When that happens, Mark S. is never going to surface ever again because he's never ever going to go back there. That will be in a lot of ways the official death of Mark S. Yeah, tragedy there. The whole thing with the sheep and what I am convinced is some type of cloning effort. Why, I still don't know. I think Miss Wong is a clone. I think even Miss Casey might have been a clone at one point. I think Miss Wong is a clone of Miss Casey. That whole line, why are you a child? Because of when I was born. I can't shake the feeling that it all is going to involve cloning. And if that's the case, there might actually be a way for a real happy ending between these four people. Mark S. and Heliar would have to get their own body and have, their consciousness, I guess, downloaded into that somehow. And then Mark on the outside could reunite with his wife. She goes through that whole process that Mark did, the reintegration, whatever. It just seems the further along we go, the more sci-fi oriented the show gets. So I really don't think that's out of left field to talk about that kind of stuff. The whole idea of Severance itself is pretty off the deep end. We've just kind of gotten used to it at this point because it's the main premise of the show. But if they can do stuff like that, who's to say they couldn't do cloning, manipulate human memories, etc.? Like, all that stuff is on the table as far as I'm concerned. The show just keeps getting more complex over time, and it's one of the things I really like about it. Like these personal relationships that the Ennies have with everyone in their lives, and also increasingly more so people on the outside. Best example of that is what's happening right now with Dylan G and his Audi's wife who keeps visiting him. I don't think she's happy in her home life, and she views her husband kind of as too immature for her. And what she gets by repeatedly scheduling these like little 18-minute trips or whatever the hell you want to call them is intimacy with an adult that she's kind of lacking, on the outside with her husband. He apparently is somewhat of a fuck up on the outside, just kind of flits from one obsession to the next. She talked a little bit about it. He was really big into scuba diving for like a little bit and then woodcrafting, and he just keeps going on and on. He was talking about something about doing something with car dealerships. I think he was being irresponsible and wanting to buy a brand new car that they obviously couldn't afford. But yeah, more and more it seems that she prefers interaction with Dylan G, the innie, rather than her own husband, which is weird as hell, but it could somewhat make sense in the context. And with that, let's get right to the episode. We're going to see what happened with Miss Casey, Gemma.
Is all quiet on the Western Blunt. Drug use by enlisted soldiers during World War I.
Kid's a genius. You should flunk every other child.
I couldn't agree more.
Gemma.
Mark.
Okay, so that scene where they were given blood, and it was like a Lumen blood bank or something. I know that actress.
There might be some deficits. Hopefully nothing long term.
Do we need an ambulance?
No. He's gonna sleep for a while. Your brother's reintegrating.
No, he's not. What he wants is to know whether Gemma's alive
She
or
is.
not. Please don't mess with me.
She is.
Done your reading?
50 pages.
If you were caught in a mudslide...
6.
He's getting like a medical evaluation. Is this the bottom floor?
Shit.
She's showing more personality around. Allentown. What the hell is this? That's the exporter again, whistling the same damn song.
There she is.
Could I please get a break?
But it's been 6 weeks.
That's not...
It will be a grand adventure.
I feel like we spend a lot of time.
Are you not drinking?
What are we gonna do out there?
Did you know that you can purify your urine?
Fuck right off.
Why would I do that?
She's pregnant. Man, this looks really cool. It's like the digitalized inner work. They tried in vitro. I think Mark mentioned at one point that they considered adoption.
You know, there's a kid just out there just waiting for us.
And today it had a name on it.
Cold Harbor?
Cold Harbor.
So what happens once I've been in all the rooms?
You will see the world again.
This dude is creepier than Kevin Spacey, that's for damn sure.
Mark will.
Nice. Okay, so it is Gemma. It's not Miss Casey. So it's her severed
Gemma out.
This looks like how you killed my brother.
She's Lumen through and through. She was raised by them. She's a soldier. She will turn you over to them. Both of us.
Hurt. It's the last one.
Oh, Jesus. No wonder her hands were trembling.
How much longer do I have to do this?
You're done.
There was obviously some frustration over the fact that they couldn't have a child. It caused problems in their marriage. It sucks because they were a very happy couple.
Hello, Gemma.
Dr. Maurer, I want to go home.
Your husband remarried last year,
That's a fucking lie.
and he has a daughter now.
Oh my god.
I don't believe you.
He's moved on.
That's so fucking cruel.
Maybe you felt things behind those doors you never felt with Mark. The death of Ivan Ilyich. Let me guess. He dies at the end.
Okay. Maybe no one needs to rescue her. She's just gonna rescue herself. I really would have killed that doctor before leaving.
I love you. I said.
Oh, no, I love you too, and I'm sorry.
This is gonna be her car accident, isn't it? Maybe it's not even a car accident. Maybe it's just Lumen doing this shit. That floor? The way the Lumen higher-ups were talking about the completion of Cold Harbor makes it seem like at that point, Gemma is going to be disposed of at that point. They're at 96% right now. I think Mark probably missed a day because after the brain surgery he hit his head and then has just been laying on the couch. He's just been kind of going through his mind, playing through all the events of meeting Gemma, falling in love with her. The two starting to build a life together, their plan to have children. They had difficulty doing so. They tried in vitro, didn't work. I know at a previous episode, Mark talked about, the two of them discussing adoption. It put a lot of strain on their relationship and they had a difficult time with it. This leads up to the moment where Gemma has her car accident. Again, still don't know the exact details of that because when they first met, they were donating blood, I think on the college campus, and it showed a Lumen symbol on the blood donation thing. Now, that might just be, coincidence. Lumen does have their hands in, everything. On the other hand, Lumen could have taken note of these two and had, plans for them. So I don't have any evidence or anything to suggest this, but I don't think Gemma's car crash is on the up and up. It's not just a legit car crash. For some reason that, we're not quite sure of just yet, Lumen has focused on Gemma and Mark. Maybe saw them as an easy target, something. I don't know. I don't know what the reasoning is. I just think that it's not a coincidence that we're seeing, that Lumen symbol when they're donating blood, when they first met. As far as Gemma's experience on that lower level, it's 10 times worse than back to the numbers on the screen that they think are scary. I think every time she enters one of those rooms, it elicits a certain emotional response that gets registered numerically for them to discern later on. Why they're doing this, still have no idea. Every room is uncomfortable, disorientating, just not a pleasant experience, and she has to go in these rooms and perform, menial tasks. The handwriting, the Christmas letters, it looked like she had hundreds of them that she had to handwrite. And it got to the point where even after she left, her hands still hurt. It starts off with the visit to the dentist. That is the exporter guy. Sinister for a Lumen employee. I don't know what the hell, the dental visits again and again and again. I don't know what that is or why they're doing it. It's just really weird. Yeah, she's been down there for months, and assuming she goes through about 6 rooms each day, that basically means she's had thousands of these horrible experiences that if any one person had to go into one, she knows this at this point and fortunately manages to get away. She took the chair and knocked out the doctor. But probably in the saddest part, she gets up the elevator and it switches between Gemma and her severed self, Miss Casey. Miss Casey gets to the door and then Milchek shows up and says, "Oh, you got on the wrong elevator, dear. Please go back to hell." And she doesn't know otherwise, so she just agrees. How long have I just, please go in the elevator? It's so fucked up. Definitely the saddest episode of the series, and that's saying something given the context of the show. But man, like, it just sucks. Don't get me wrong, it was a really good episode, but having to watch her go through that, it's just watching someone live through hell. It's really disturbing, and I hope something happens that they can actually get her out of there. Now that Mark has completed the reintegration process, I hope that that's the silver bullet that they need because, like I said, they're at 96%, so they're very close to completing it. I think they can do about 4% in a day's work, so I'm hoping whatever plan they've got going to try and get to that bottom level, they actually get down there and free her from this, because it's a total fucking nightmare. But yeah, another really good episode in the books. Gemma focused, but answered a lot of questions, and yeah, it was really good. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got. So as always, thanks for watching, and peace.